Good evening, Nintendo Chit-Chatters. We'll be starting here shortly. A few little pre-show announcements as well. We had our Party Planet game giveaway. We're going to be drawing the winner here in a moment, so stay tuned. Big shoutouts to Mastiff Games and Party Planet, now available on Nintendo Switch. Tonight's episode is brought to you by them. We appreciate it very, very much. You can get it in the Switch eShop or check out GameStop as well. That's Party Planet by Mastiff Games. Also wanted to shout out their awesome New Year giveaway, guys. They have a lot of cool prizes. They have Joy-Con sets, the neon ones, they have blue. They have a really cool Hori play stand and cool Nintendo Switch game case. Go to partyplanet.com and find the New Year's giveaway. This has about another week or so left, I believe, till the end of January to actually enter. All of the rules to enter the contest are there. Or go to the description below the video and check out the New Year's giveaway for Mastiff Games and Party Planet. And welcome! Hello, Nintendo Chit-Chatters. I'm Eddie Ray. For Nintendo Chit-Chat Minute Gaming News, hope you're all doing well out there. Good to see you guys in chat. So we had Tobias from our NintendoChitChat.com website win the digital code of Party Planet thanks to Mastiff Games. So check out again, guys, we have another contest going for Party Planet on the Switch. This is a Twitter contest, so find the link for that in the description below. If you're listening, go to our Twitter, @NintendoChitChat, and find it there as well. So good to see you. We got Golden, we have Officer Goodman, Sagan, Dank, Anita, Fluffy, Simon, Aaron. Good to see you all. We have a lot of news to cover too. But before we get started with any of that, a few little announcements for you guys. We have a few things going on. If you are watching, you can also listen to us audio only. A day or two after the broadcast ends, the podcast audio version goes live all across the main platforms like Google Play Music. Also, it's on Player FM, SoundCloud, and iTunes too. So check it out there. You can follow us on SoundCloud or any of those platforms, and you can access this broadcast audio only, which is really awesome. We also have some merchandise, some t-shirts we're doing right now with our logo, the Nintendo Chit Chat for Love of Gaming logo. This is on TeePublic. All the links are down in the description below, so check that out. And of course, we also have a Chibi Robo contest for the Amiibo and the game bundle. That's going on through, I think, the middle of February, so check that on Twitter. Again, the link's in the description below for that. And make sure you guys enjoy the stream by blasting the like button, commenting, and enjoying the episode. Lots of news to get started with, so in a moment, we'll be getting going with that, but right back with some more messages after this. This episode of Nintendo Chit Chat Minute Gaming News is also brought to you by Mastiff Games, bringing you Party Planet on the Nintendo Switch, now available in the Nintendo Switch eShop and exclusively through GameStop.com. Take a look at the trailer.
Mastiff. K-On.
And blast! Through 30 fantastic party games, including Hopper Jump, Bounce for the Win, Fruit Invaders, Who Said Fruit Was Good For You, Super Vegan Anaconda, Super Vegan What? And many more! It's good fun for up to 4 players, and it's on Nintendo Switch.
Today's episode is also brought to you by NintendoChitChat.com, for the love of gaming. NintendoChitChat.com is your main community hub and resource for Nintendo fans. Register for free today and gain access to our live chat rooms, gain access to our forums to post new content and comment on our blog articles too. We have a full blog section for our unique interviews, news articles, and much, much more. We have a full member section, activity feed, achievements, and tons more to explore. NintendoChitChat.com, for the love of gaming. Check it out today and make your free account. Hey guys, sorry about the live little audio bugs, a little bit of glitches there, but it's okay. Welcome back. So we're going to get going here. We have a lot to cover, surprisingly enough. Even the week after the mini direct, we have a lot to cover today. So as always, please welcome, of course, live and in person, I guess you could say, on the internet, is our writer and editor for NintendoChitChat.com is Samantha Lienhard. Samantha, hello, how are you doing today?
Hi everyone, I'm doing fine today.
Excellent. And of course, I was kind of surprised by what took place this week. We'll be doing a poll for the chat room here in a moment to see what their reaction was as well. But the first thing that we can talk about, I guess, Samantha, is for the news is Nintendo Labo.
Yes,
And
no one was expecting that.
yeah, what was your initial reaction, response in your head to that?
When I first saw it, my initial reaction was along the lines of, huh, so
Right.
it was definitely not what I was expecting at all.
Right, and they kind of warned us, in a sense, with a tweet and some social media posts, I guess it was. I wasn't sure if it was actually a press release or not, but they had mentioned that it was just kind of mostly for kids, but
Right,
if
yes.
you're a kid at heart, you might find it interesting as well. So I guess they kind of expected to have a kind of a weird response from hardcore gamers, I guess you could say, from this. But Nintendo
Yes.
Labo is a really cool name, too. And I guess that kind of plays on the laboratory word. Any
Yes,
background
I
on that
think
that you know of?
I have no idea. At first, I wasn't even sure how to say it. I wasn't sure if it was Labo or Labo, but
Right.
now I think it's probably Labo to go with that laboratory idea of building things.
Cool. And this kind of fits in kind of the makerspace in a sense. Build and play experiences you have mentioned in the article. So the idea is you basically build special cardboard peripherals. And they call them Toy-Con kits. Is that right?
Yes,
Interesting.
we've got the Joy-Con controllers and now the Toy-Con kits.
Right. So I guess the Joy-Cons are being used in the Toy-Con kit. That makes sense. Okay. There's also software packs with this as well, correct?
Yes, so I'm not entirely sure yet. It looks like each kit is going to come with the software that goes with those particular patterns.
Right. So we know of what two kits so far, correct? There's two main ones that we know about: Toy-Con 1 and Toy-Con 2. What comes in the Toy-Con, the first pack?
The first one is the variety pack, so that one comes with five different patterns and the games for them. One is little cars, then there's a fishing rod, a house, a motorbike, and a piano.
So that all comes into one package. That's pretty cool.
Right, that's
Nice
the
little
variety
variety
pack.
pack, right? Awesome. And then there's number 2, which is kind of really caught my eye, and I had to think about how does this actually work. Is the what do they call this one?
This is the one with the robot
The
kit.
robot kit. Yeah, very simple name, robot kit. Awesome. And this is basically, I guess, where Project Robobot went from the Wii U.
Yes, that's what it seems to be, yes.
And that's what a lot of discussion I saw online was, hey, it's Project Robobot back in existence. That was a planned Wii U title for a long time. I think it was shown at E3 during when Star Fox was as well,
Right.
2 or 3 or 4 years ago now. And I think it was on the list of like still coming like in earlier years that we heard of. I think it was canceled or removed from the release list or whatever. I think so. This is probably pretty much where it went. I'm thinking. But looking over these kits for the variety pack, what caught your attention the most in the variety pack? Any one of those? Almost all of them do for me, actually.
Well, I don't know. It seems like the cars seem like the ones that I can most easily see how the game is going to work, and maybe the piano if you're into music sort of games. But
Right.
and the main thing I'm wondering about it right now is how much content will there be in the games themselves?
I think that's where the actual value will come into play then too. We have to know more
Right.
about the game. Is it like just a mini game with
Right, because they're
basic
kind of
functionality?
expensive.
Right, yeah, it is. So
Only a
speaking of
little bit.
prices, the first one is how much?
The variety kit that has the five different ones is $70. Kit is $80.
Okay, cool. So the robot kit's 80, but more expensive. That's a bit more in depth, I guess, too. But yeah, the big question is the software. There is software, additionally, or I should say, in the bundle with this. So that's cool, but
Right.
we don't know much else about that. Correct?
No, they haven't shown anything except for that initial trailer.
Okay. So looking over some of these, like the piano, I was wondering how that works. And then I read some things about it. What did you learn about the piano and how it works? Do you know anything about it?
They showed it briefly in the video being played.
Right. So I guess the IR sensor is used heavily when you push a key. I guess that creates some kind of signal to the IR sensor. I'm not quite sure. And there's 3 or 4 plugs you can put into tune and change tones too, which is pretty impressive with the software added onto
Yeah,
this.
that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. And then we have, of course, a little bug type device. You have little remote control, which is the switch, of course, for this bug device. And this it moves with HD Rumble, I think I heard. Is that correct?
I don't know. I didn't read that part about it.
Okay, yeah, I was reading a little bit more about that. I think HD Rumble is used, and that's able to make it move forward or backward and left and right as well, which is pretty impressive for use of the technology there. Cool. And the house has 3 or 4 different kind of things, attachments to it. What happens with those attachments, do you know?
Oh, all I know is that they said that there is some sort of like little pet that you're able to take care of if you have the house hooked up.
Okay, that's interesting. That's cool. All right. That seems pretty involved there. And then there was the motorbike one, which is pretty cool too. I guess steering and acceleration's all based upon the Joy-Cons and moving them here. And then we have the fishing game, which looks pretty interesting as well. Cool. And then, of course, the robot. Did you see how this was actually working, Samantha? This is pretty impressive.
Oh, I saw a little bit about it. I didn't see too much.
So inside, I guess
Saw a
there's these
little bit.
pieces of like reflective mylar tape or whatever. And when the strings move for your arms and such, and movement of the head, the strings inside, I guess, move these little things past the reflective parts, the little tape reflective pieces, and I guess that can be sensed with the IR sensor as well, and then be read into the game for movement. I probably explained it very poorly there, but that kind of makes a little bit of sense at least. Very
It's an
awesome.
interesting idea.
Yeah, it is. So we know about these 2 sets right now. There's also a little customizable set, I think, included, or like an additional 3rd thing they had. I
Oh,
have it on
right.
the
Yeah, there's
screen
something
right
about
now.
that on the website.
Yeah, so there's like stickers
Back.
and some like decorative tape, I think, included here as well for it too. So
Right.
arts
Yeah.
and crafty type thing for Nintendo Labo. So that was pretty cool. We're gonna do the poll in the chat room right now. So Samantha, hold on. We'll get back to you in about 30 seconds. So for
right.
you guys in chat, I want to see what your reaction was to Nintendo Labo. Was it wow, what, how, or why, or maybe all of the above? So that's going to go into the chat room right now. So enjoy kind of voting on that. There's, of course, 5 options. Option 1's wow, what, how, why, or all of the above. What was your reaction to Nintendo Labo? Let us know in the poll, and we'll see what the results are in a moment. All right, Samantha, we can move on to the rest of the news if you'd like.
All right. There is certainly a lot.
Yeah, so let's get on with it. We have Gunhouse. I never heard of a Gunhouse. What's Gunhouse all about here?
This is a combination of a puzzle game and a tower defense game, and it just came out. It's available now in the eShop. I'm not sure if it was a complete surprise release, but they certainly didn't announce it too far ahead of time. It was
Okay,
on
great.
other platforms previously, but this version has new stages, new story content, and other additions.
Yeah, I see you also mentioned a harder difficulty level in the game too.
Right, yes.
And this goes on the Switch eShop, available right now for you guys. It is $14.99. We have a trailer on our website too, so check out the article on NintendoChitChat.com if you get a chance afterwards. And then Japan had some really cool little releases, I think, or coming releases in the next few days or week. We have the arcade shooter Zero Gunner 2. This is an older game. Is this who was this by?
Oh, let me look it up quick. Zero Gunner 2
I mean, I have a
was
2001
by,
screenshot here, but I'm not sure if this is if it's changed since then.
yeah, it lists the developer as Psychio.
Okay, yeah, it's still who I have in the screenshot here too. Okay, cool. And who's publishing this? This is not like a Neo Geo Classic or anything. This is just like a little indie developer or publisher or something, or
Yes, I'm not sure because it lists both of them, and then the other coming out.
right. So we have Strikers 1945 2, and this is like
Yeah, but I don't think it actually says who is publishing it. It just kind of showed up, and no one was
yeah,
expecting it.
yeah, exactly. That's what I was kind of wondering. So it's not a Neo Geo Classic, I don't think, but
Okay, here it is. It's a publisher called Zero Div.
Okay, zero div. D-I-V?
Yes.
Okay, interesting. That's cool. Thanks for the information on that. Yeah, I had no clue. That's why I was wondering if it was... yeah, I didn't know when I saw these announcements. I heard of Strikers 1945 before, but Zero Gun and Two, I have not heard of that. So those look pretty cool. All right. Cool. And then, of course, we have a pretty big announcement. If you're a Scribblenauts fan, we'll be talking more about this franchise in a moment later on tonight, too. And this is Scribblenauts Showdown. And what is Scribblenauts Showdown all about, Samantha?
Well, unlike the previous Scribblenauts games, this one seems like it's more intended to be a party game. So it does have a sandbox mode, but it also has a showdown mode and a versus mode, which it's heavily featuring, where players compete against each other with different mini games using the Scribblenauts setup of writing a word to summon an object into the game.
Right, and that's the big draw to Scribblenauts. So if you've not played a Scribblenauts game before, it is a very kind of intriguing game and concept. And we'll talk more about the whole franchise here a little bit later on tonight, as we have a really cool article to go to that you wrote earlier today, or earlier this week, I should say. Cool. That comes out on the Switch and the Xbox One and PS4. And this is on March 6th, I believe.
Right.
Cool. And I guess this is regular price, like retail, like probably 59 or 60 bucks, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, great. So we also have a trailer for that on the website too, guys. So check out all of these trailers if these games interest you at all on the website, NintendoChitChat.com. And a really cool game here. It's getting a lot of publicity on Twitter, I saw. A lot of talk about it. This is the Switch version of Night in the Woods. And this has been revealed for February 1st. What is Night in the Woods about?
Night in the Woods is a sort of adventure game that's very story-driven and focuses on interacting with the other characters. The main character, I believe, comes back to her hometown or something like that, like after a long time. I don't remember what the... but when it first came out, it was really being praised for a while.
Okay, great. And this looks really interesting to me. I saw some of the artwork earlier. I watched the trailer too. It looks really cool. So it's heavily story-driven. It's adventure-ish. Lots of exploration too, and character interactions.
And we'll have all of the director's cut content, so don't be afraid that you're going to be missing something by getting this version.
Nice. So Night in the Woods coming very soon. February 1st, everybody. All right, so moving along in the news, we've got a lot of games to cover here. This is pretty amazing. How much stuff comes out on a weekly basis or daily basis now? It's tough to keep up with it.
Stuff.
Yeah. So we have next a series of eShop games for the Switch. This is by D3 Publisher. And what are all the games included that we have? I guess individually, actually. What games are coming out with this publisher on the Switch eShop?
They announced tennis, billiard, 35 Fateful Enigmas, The Men of Yoshiwara Kikuya, and The Men of Yoshiwara Ogiya. And I'm not sure if I said those right, so...
That's why I let you do that. Great. So, yeah, according to the announcement you mentioned, all of the games will be released in both English and Japanese, which is a really good feature. That's cool. And I saw a lot of people tweeting about this, too, saying, hey, this is a good little publisher. These games are, they're smaller games, but they're kind of cool. So check them out if they interest you guys. So we're looking at the chat room here. Golden Hawk mentions about Drawn to Life. You will actually mention that in our Scribblenauts article, right. Golden. Then, of course, our poll. We had 3 votes, which was the most votes for WoW, which was for the announcement regarding a Nintendo Labo. So there you go. WoW was a reaction for most of the chat room. That's cool. All right, moving along from D3. We have a rhythm game, too, which a lot of our chit-chatters said they might be interested in. This is... how do you pronounce this, Samantha? Musinks?
I think so. I think it's a combination of music and like syncs. So I think Musinks sounds right to me.
Cool. And this was originally a mobile game. What else do we know about this rhythm game?
We have 50 songs at launch, over 50 songs, and multiple difficulty modes, and it's getting both a digital release and a physical release.
Cool, and a physical release. Nice. So over 50 songs at launch and different difficulty modes. That looks great. So a really cool rhythm game coming. Great. And then we have a really cool announcement too. This actually caught me off guard because this was on the Vita. I'm not sure how long ago.
2014.
Okay, so 2014. And this is an RPG. This is Fantasy Hero Unsigned Legacy. What's this game all about, Samantha?
A lot about it. It doesn't seem like it got a lot of press even when it came out in 2014, but it's a hack and slash action role-playing game, and it's coming to the Switch on January 25th.
Great. That sounds awesome. I was watching the trailer. Looks pretty cool. Another little action hack and slash game. So there you go. Fantasy Hero Unsigned Legacy. It's $9.99 on the eShop for the Switch, January 25th. Cool. Some more announcements to go through here. We have 3 games from Cyberstep, and these are coming to the Switch in Japan. Do you want to get going with these names for us, Samantha?
Well, one of them is an online role-playing game called Onigiri. It's available in English for other platforms, but I'm not positive. And then there's a competitive action game called Get Amped Mobile, which I believe was a mobile game, but now it's coming to the Switch. And the next one, no one knows much about because it's a new game, and all they've really released is the title so far, which is IU Breakers. I saw a translation for that, and I probably should have included it because then I could have just said that.
Oh, that's okay. You did pretty well. I would have botched it even more horribly than I botched other things, so... So a little trio of games there from Cyberstep, and those coming to the Switch in Japan. I doubt there's any kind of English translation for those games at the moment, and no localization announced either at the moment either. So yeah, there you go. But if you like those kind of games, guys, do check them out. Available in the Switch eShop for Japan.
I think Get Amped Mobile. I think that one might have been out in English as a mobile game.
Okay, yeah, you know what? You're probably right. I think I actually saw it on my Android phone, so you're probably right. I gotta check it again. Cool. And another game coming to the Switch in Japan is SD Gundam G Generation Genesis. Say that 10 times fast. This has all the DLC from previous releases of the game. This is like a mech game. What's this game about?
I don't know a lot about the Gundam universe, but there's a lot of stuff out there. It's a huge mecha franchise.
Right, yeah, I saw a lot of people getting excited about this release, so it kind of caught my eye as well. I don't know much about it, though, but it looks pretty interesting.
The early purchases are also coming with a download for an old Super Nintendo game from the series that was Super Gachapon World SD Gundam X.
Oh, wow, okay. So maybe that's why a lot of people were getting kind of hyped about it because, yeah, that's cool. So that comes with the download. Okay, cool. That looks awesome. If you guys didn't see the trailer, go to NintendoChitChat.com and go to a news article. The trailer looks pretty good. Okay. Moving on, a world exploration simulator, Neo Atlas 1469. What's this game about? It sounds interesting.
Well, like it sounds, it's a simulator where you're discovering new things in the world and exploring the world.
Cool, yeah, I couldn't find anything as far as graphics go for that, but that comes to the Switch April 19th.
There. So the trailer shows some of them.
Oh, okay. Cool. So an exploration sim. Very nice. All right. And then moving along the news article, we also had another physical edition coming as well, which is great. This is Max, The Curse of Brotherhood. And this will go for $29.99, available on March 23rd. What's this series or what's this game about? Do you know it all, Samantha?
What's going on? This is sort of a platformer with a lot of puzzle solving, and it came out on the Switch late in December. So it was out in the eShop, so now it's coming out as a physical edition as well. And I believe it got a fairly positive reception.
Cool. Yeah, the artwork looks pretty cool as well. So I like physical editions, so I may have to look into that. Then we talked about this, I think, last week, maybe the week before,
Right.
Mercenaries Saga Chronicles. And of course, this releases on the Switch, the whole package together. It's 3 games total. And this is coming out in February, but no release date yet, correct?
Right. Yeah. Last time we didn't even have the, but then this week they said that the Western release will be February.
Okay. So that's coming very soon. So guys, you got yourselves a lot of games to look up the next week or two here. I'm sure some of these will probably interest you. So do check them out. Then we have, how do you pronounce Snack World? What is this? Treasures?
I think it's like a play on treasure, but I'm not positive. So I think it's
Yeah.
like treasures.
Okay.
I don't know.
And is this like the 3DS game, or is it like a newer version of that?
I think it's a port of the 3DS game.
Okay. And that came out on the 3DS in Japan, but not North America yet. But this game is coming to the
It said
Switch.
it was going to.
Right. So no announcement yet, though. So
No, no official announcement.
maybe by E3 or something. I'm sure we'll get that here, hopefully. I'm looking forward to actually Snack World. So this will be playable at the World Hobby Fair, Winter 2018, which begins on January 21st, so 2 days away. So there you go, the Snack World Treasurers. Very nice. And then we have some other cool announcements for you guys today. Murasaki, who announced as DLC character for the Shinobi, is it Reffle?
I'm not sure. I think
Yes.
Ruffle, I don't know.
Yeah, so many tough names here today. Shinobi Reffle Senran Kagura. So it's a new DLC character. It'll be available on January 18th, and no localization announced for that game either.
And that game has such a strange DLC model so far because they released it with one character,
Oh,
announced a
wow.
DLC character that it was a cheap game. It was like I don't know what it was in yen, but I think it would come out to maybe like $10. I don't remember. But then the DLC character cost the same amount as the game. And now this
Jeez.
new DLC character is coming out. So I don't know what
Interesting.
their overall plan is for this.
Right. Yeah, that's very intriguing. Yeah, I'm not sure what else to say about that. It's really a weird model. But look into that, guys, if you're interested in that type of game. Moving along, we have then a gameplay trailer is out now for Masters of Anima. And this is an action game. What else do we know about Anima, Masters of Anima?
Well, it looks like you'll be able to. Your character has anima powers, which means you can summon these other creatures to fight for you. I saw a lot of people actually saying it had almost a Pikmin sort of look to it because of the way the other characters were being summoned and then commanded.
That would be really cool. That sounds intriguing to me as well. Cool. And this is like a kind of real-time strategy-esque then, or just a pure action game?
It said action. So I don't think it is saying anything about strategy elements.
Okay. So that's Masters of Anima. Check out the trailer, guys. Then, of course, we have other announcements for you, too. Scroll down the news feed here. This is Galgun 2. We don't have a Western release date yet. So Rice Digital announced there's a special free Hugs edition for the game. And what's all included? What's the price of the free Hugs edition for Galgun 2?
It's $100 special edition, and it includes the game, of course, as well as an official art book, an official soundtrack CD, a Mr. Happiness plushie, a pin badge set, and
Hashtag.
a double-sided gaming accessories pouch, and of course, it all is in a collector's box.
Great. So Galgun 2, that sounds really interesting as well. Some weird anime-ish Japanese games for you guys to look into. Mr. Happiness plushie. There you go. Hashtag Mr. Happiness. All right, so we also have a new trailer then for Your Four-Night Princess Training Story. And this is due out in Japan on March 8th. No localization for that. Then we have the developers of Disc Jam. And this is an action sports game. Will be out on February 8th. What's Disc Jam about, though? Action sports, like what is it?
Disc Jam is kind of an unusual competitive sports game that it describes itself as a combination of air hockey and tennis. And so the players are throwing this glowing disc back and forth while using special abilities and trying to defend and stuff like that.
Okay. And it says online multiplayer will also include cross-platform play with the PC version.
Right.
So that's a nice feature. So Disc Jam, check that out on the Switch, February 8th. Yeah, that sounds really intriguing to me. Never heard of it. You have some additions here from today. I didn't check these until now, but that's okay. So there's now an official trailer for the Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. And this is, of course, full content from both of the versions, from the 3DS to the Wii U version, correct?
Right, yes.
Awesome. And, of course, the 2 new costumes we saw for Breath of the Wild. We saw that in the mini direct, I believe. Cool. So Golden Hawk says, more fan service games. Yay. In our chat room. NTG64 has the hashtag Mr. Happiness going on. And hello, Ashley. Welcome to you as well in our chat room. So thanks to you guys for joining us. We have a lot more to cover today for you guys in the news and some other articles too, so stay tuned. So Koei Tecmo also released a Switch gameplay trailer for Attack on Titan 2. That's great. Then, of course, we have the recent update, which is now available for Splatoon 2. And what was the update all about for Splatoon 2, Samantha?
Oh, it's just basic bug fixes and a few adjustments and tweaks. Nothing major, just little glitches they're fixing and stuff.
Okay, so that's Splatoon 2 update. That's out now, available version 2.2.0. We have the patch notes, a link to it there in our article, so check it out, nintendochitchat.com. We also have the upcoming Extra Pack 2 DLC for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. And what does this pack of DLC include?
This is going to have 2 more playable characters. They're Jiren and the version of Android 17 from Dragon Ball Super. And also, I guess there's 3. 3 new playable characters, but the last one, Fu, had already been announced. With the 3 characters there.
Okay, great. So that's the Extra Pack 2 DLC for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. There's also a free update that adds a special skill called Overlimit, a Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan transformation for the player
Say
avatar.
that one 10 times fast.
Yeah, I know. My gosh. Just go read the article, guys. That's cool, though. So the free update for that game, too. And the swimsuit costumes for Android 18 and Vidal. There's also some new Quest DLC packs for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It'll be out on January 19th, which is today in Japan. And what do these Quest packs, what do they add to Xenoblade Chronicles 2?
Well, as you might expect from the title, this adds new quests. This adds 5 new side quests, and there's also going to be another helpful items pack that'll be unlocked when you get it. So if you had the season pass and you unlocked that pack that included some more core crystals and overdrives and items, you'll get another pack of those.
Okay, great. So that's available now in Japan. We have the full patch notes on the website in the article.
Well, that was for another update. There was also a update today.
Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha. I understand. Okay, cool. So there's lots of things covering with Splatoon 2 and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. There's also some 3DS news coming your way. Not too much, but a little bit. I'm sure we'll get more as the months progress. But we have a little bit more for Strange Journey Redux, one of the big upcoming games for Atlas here for the 3DS in 2018. And what was announced? Just the release date?
Just the release date, and we finally got to see the English box art.
Okay, great.
And everyone is very... Box art removed the gun, because
Oh,
apparently the ESRB doesn't allow you to have a character pointing a gun at the audience.
oh
So
wow.
the character in the back there was originally pointing a gun at the audience, but in this version, she's just reaching her hand out.
Yeah, I can see that now in the article here. Interesting little tidbit there. Thanks, Samantha. And those are available then. We have May 15th for the game in the Americas and May 18th in Europe. So, Samantha, quite a week, huh?
Yes, quite a week.
Cool. All right, guys, that covers the news for the 14th through the 20th. We update our article on the website organically as stuff is announced. So check it out on NintendoChitChat.com. Samantha, we'll come back to you in about 2 minutes. And stay tuned, guys. We'll come back to you in about a minute or two with some more news and articles, so stay tuned. Don't forget, guys, today's episode is brought to you by Mastiff Games and Party Planet, now available on the Nintendo Switch, in the eShop, or via GameStop exclusively. Also, check out our Party Planet digital code game giveaway on Twitter. You can go to the description below and enter the contest. The link is right there for you guys in chat, so go check it out and enter right now. Today's episode is brought to you by NintendoReport.com. Fresh gaming news every 20 minutes. When you visit the homepage, you'll find direct information from Nintendo themselves. We source their YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr accounts. Maybe you want even more details? Click on Nintendo Franchise News. Here we source the main franchises for Nintendo directly from the Facebook pages for The Legend of Zelda, Mario Kart, Super Mario, and Splatoon. If you want more Nintendo news, click on Other Nintendo News. Here we source the main media outlets that cover Nintendo. Outlets such as Nintendo Everything, Nintendo Life, Game Explained, Nintendo Today, Nintendo Enthusiast, and more. Again, updated every 20 minutes. And don't forget the NCC feed for NintendoChitChat.com. You'll find the latest details here from our website, directly sourced here. All for you. NintendoReport.com, fresh gaming news every 20 minutes. Today's episode is also brought to you by NintendoChitChat.com, for the love of gaming. NintendoChitChat.com is your main community hub and resource for Nintendo fans. Register for free today and gain access to our live chat rooms. Gain access to our forums to post new content and comment on our blog articles too. We have a full blog section for our unique interviews, news articles, and much more. We have a full member section, activity feed, achievements, and tons more to explore. NintendoChitChat.com, for the love of gaming. Check it out today and make your free account. We'll fix those audio glitches for next week, guys. Don't worry. We'll get it all figured out. We're still kind of figuring things out here on this broadcast for you all. So welcome back. I want to show you guys a few things before we get into the rest of our articles with Samantha. I have it down here, actually. Let me get it for you. So after our next Party Planet giveaway, which is another digital code, the following week we have a really cool little prize pack for you guys from Mastiff Games. They sent us a really cool little advertisement poster here of the game. We have a physical version of Party Planet in this goodie bag, which has some little party favors and stuff too. So there you go. So tune in next week for the contest for this. And of course, enter our digital code for Party Planet today. We'll be announcing the winner next week. So 2 more Party Planet games to give away with you guys. 1 digital, 1 physical. Enter it now. And thanks to Mastiff Games and thanks to David Bruno. All right, guys. Bring Samantha back on. You ready, Samantha?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right, guys. So, got the music playing a little bit more. We're going to do some Scribblenauts discussion with you guys. I asked Samantha to, this week, give a little history of Scribblenauts and Nintendo. And that all started off with a game called Drawn to Life, which was kind of the original game before Scribblenauts. Is that correct?
Yes, well, Scribblenauts was the developer's 3rd game. They made Drawn to Life and Locke's Quest before that. And Drawn to Life especially, not Locke's Quest so much, but Drawn to Life, you can see the elements that led to the idea of Scribblenauts.
Cool. So Drawn to Life was on the DS then, right?
It used the idea of drawing the characters and levels and vehicles and similar things.
Okay, I lost you for a moment there. No problem. Great. So, Drawn to Life. So that was your 3rd DS game you mentioned.
No, Scribblenauts was the 3rd DS game.
Okay, got you. Okay. So, Drawn to Life. Okay, I got you. And then we have in 2010, which was Scribblenauts. This is Super Scribblenauts. And this was, I guess, addressing different criticisms of the original game, right?
Right, and it also added adjectives, because the big thing about Scribblenauts was that you could write the name of any object and it would appear in the game, but you couldn't describe them at all in the original. So Super Scribblenauts, which was also on the DS, introduced the ability to describe an object with an adjective.
And I think that's the big appeal now of the entire series or franchise of Scribblenauts, is being able to kind of include anything you write down into the game and use it to solve puzzles or to, I guess, even do some combat in some of the kind of platforming sections or whatever of the games. So we also had then Scribblenauts Unlimited, which came to, was it both the 3DS and the Wii U?
Yes, I think it was also on the PC as well, but for Nintendo platforms, it was on both the 3DS and the Wii U.
Okay. These are all published by Warner Brother Games.
Right.
So we had Scribblenauts Unlimited, which I actually played for the very first time. This is my first experience actually to Scribblenauts, was on the Wii U. And then I had purchased the DS game from my collection later on. But there was 2 entries of Scribblenauts on the Wii U actually too. In addition to Unlimited, we also had another franchise, kind of like a, I guess this is the DC Comics Adventure one. They got a license for this. This is really interesting. So this is all like superheroes from the DC universe mixed into the Scribblenauts mechanics. What else was this game about?
Well, it had a DC Comics sort of story. So with Scribblenauts Unmasked, you were trying to help the superheroes save the day.
That's cool. So Scribblenauts Unmasked, DC Comics Adventure. This is a licensed game then in 2013. So the Wii U version actually also added, you have mentioned in the article here, a co-op mode where a second player could take control of another character or object, which sounds pretty cool. I didn't actually do the co-op mode, so I may have to go back to that. I actually have this game too, but never tried the co-op mode before. I was hoping we actually got like a collection of these older games for the Switch. Maybe sometime down the line we might actually maybe see that. Who knows? But because we of course have then Scribblenauts Showdown, which is the newest entry coming to the series, and of course we mentioned earlier in the news article too, is coming to the Switch on March 6th in North America and then March 9th in Europe. And what makes this game new?
Well, first of all, it's the first one that has a different developer, because Fifth Cell had a lot of problems with layoffs. So I think they're still around, but they're... and so Shiver Entertainment is taking over and developing Scribblenauts Showdown. And like we said in the news segment, it seems like it's much more of a party game. focusing on these multiplayer modes where you go head to head against other players.
Yeah, and I saw that in the article. I'm like, oh wow, that's a little different mechanic to the game. So, like mini games and versus that should be pretty good fit for the Switch, especially. We have some comments from the chat room here. Amethyst says for the previous game, she says, "What DC characters?" Yeah, so go check that out if you have a Wii U, Amethyst. Scribblenauts Unmasked on the Wii U, a DC Comics adventure. Looks, I think it was pretty fun. Again, I didn't play the co-op version in that game though, so.
And it had a lot of characters, from what I understand. That there is a lot of DC characters.
Yeah, like some I didn't even know who they were. That's how many characters are in the game. Cool. So, yeah, Scribblenauts Showdown then is coming to, of course, the Switch, PS4, and Xbox One as well. So also have a sandbox mode for Showdown with return of 8 new levels. No other details including, I guess, regarding that, though.
Right.
So you mentioned the primary focus will be on multiplayer, making the game more of a party game. So check that out, guys. Coming to us very soon in March, Scribblenauts Showdown. And there's a little bit of history for you all for Scribblenauts and Nintendo. All right, Samantha, we'll be right back, guys, in a moment. Stay tuned. Don't forget, guys, to enter our Party Planet digital game code giveaway happening right now on Twitter. Go to the description below to enter that. We'll be announcing the winner for Party Planet on the Switch next broadcast. Thanks to Mastiff Games. All right, Samantha, we'll bring you back on here. We have one more article for tonight, guys, and this is all going to be on, well, I asked Samantha this as well earlier this week, and I knew she could find out some genres that were missing on the Switch, or lacking thereof. And this is genres the Switch is still lacking. And Samantha, what's the first genre that you think is the Switch is kind of light in game-wise?
Well, I was actually a little surprised when I started looking things up for this because when you first suggested it to me, what came to my mind was horror. And then I thought, well, no, the Switch is actually having a few horror games coming out on it now.
Right.
And then I thought, well, maybe visual novels. But no, more and more visual novels are starting to come too. So actually, the first one that I found that the Switch seems to be lacking is card games, digital card games.
Right. So that kind of ties into then what we heard possibly before would be a port of Hearthstone to the Switch. But I haven't heard anything about that recently, have you?
Nope, I haven't heard anything either.
But I think that'd be a very good fit for the Switch. Maybe
People
even
keep hoping.
Yeah, maybe even a new Pokemon trading card game as well, or a Yu-Gi-Oh game. But yeah, we could definitely use that genre on the Switch. And of course, there's only one I think available right now, and that's Gear Unlimited. We have racing sims.
Right.
I think we talked a little while back, first or second broadcast, about the arcade racer game coming. Mm-hmm. So that's coming to the Switch at some point.
And we've got some kart racers, but racing sims are very limited.
Right. And Gear Club was originally a mobile game, which was ported to the Switch. It was actually a pretty good game, a decent game, got fairly good reviews, has quite a bit of content, but yeah, that's one of the genres the Switch is definitely lacking in for sure. Then, of course, we conclude tonight with real-time strategy, and this is one of my favorite genres, actually. And aside from, we know Pikmin 4 is probably coming at some point, there really isn't anything out there at the moment, is there?
There's one that's been announced called 8-Bit Armies. I don't think there's any release date or anything, just an announcement saying that it's coming. But that's it. That's all I could find.
Okay, so what do you guys think in the chat room as far as what the Switch is lacking? It's kind of funny to look at this article and think of the Switch has so many games, so many things are being announced, but there's still a few areas the Switch could do better in. And I think one I could add to that would be like a first-person shooter. We've had
Yeah,
Doom
there's
as
a few
well.
now with Doom and Wolfenstein's coming.
Yeah. But I think by next year, I think a lot of this might even change. But who knows? We have a lot of year ahead of us here in 2018. So we have Golden Hawk in the chat says, I'd like to have more horror. He loves being spooked or spooped. And we have MSR Gamer, who's Hector. He wants some more Mario sports games. We'll be getting Mario Tennis soon, but he wants soccer
We're
and
getting some more
baseball.
horror games. There's a small lineup of horror games now.
Yeah, I saw that. The Switch is slowly, getting its horror share of games. So good to see you guys in chat. Samantha, thanks for joining us today, and of course, as always, you can check out Samantha's website. The link to that's in the description below the video. But also, what do you want to plug for today?
Well, I wanted to let everyone know that if you also play Steam games, I have a game that just came out on Steam. It's a visual novel that I wrote the script for called Ascendant Hearts, and it's a romantic comedy visual novel, so obviously not geared toward everyone, but if that's the sort of thing you like, you can check it out. It's called Ascendant Hearts.
Great, Samantha. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you back here next Friday, I hope.
All right.
Awesome. Lots more news ahead, guys, next week, I'm sure. So thanks for joining us. I'm Eddy Ray for NintendoChitChat.com. You guys have a good night, and stay tuned for the audio-only podcast of this episode coming to your iTunes and Google Play, Player FM, and SoundCloud very, very soon. I'm Eddy Ray. Have a good night.